So we're back to doing tier lists here on the channel. I've done 3 in the past. I did a Vinland Saga one, I did an Attack on Titan one, and I did a Berserk one. You should check out all those videos. They're probably better than this one. But today we're going to do Game of Thrones. Are we about a year removed from Game of Thrones finishing? It seems like that. It seems to have escaped the cultural zeitgeist nearly immediately. No one talks about Game of Thrones anymore because Season 8 was so bad. It seems to be a meme that disappeared as the decade ended, and I don't think 2020 is going to be the year of Game of Thrones, though we are going to get those spin-offs eventually, I think. Though I think they did cancel one of them or something. Who cares? Fuck the spin-offs. We're here today to rank these characters, alright? We got a healthy list here. I think everyone should be here. I should create an I don't care / I don't remember one below. There shouldn't be many characters in this. Well, the I don't care is a different thing. I don't know / I don't care. Like, Aerys is a non-character, the Mad King, so he goes in I don't know, I don't care. I can't properly rank him, because he's a fucking memeless character. There's no characterization for him. He's in one scene, and he's referenced a little bit, not nearly as much as he is in the book. But we're going to go straight in here. We're not fucking around. So we've got Alistair Thorne here. Now, this is a great character, a great performance, has some great dialogue, is interesting in his devotion to the Watch and also against Jon Snow, and he sort of embraces Jon Snow, his stand at the wall when they're in the big battle against the Wildlings, where he sort of loses to Tormund, but he doesn't want to retreat. He's not like a coward or anything. Steads by his beliefs. He's like an interesting bloke. But I'd say he's probably steady A tier for now. Now, Arya is... Now, this is the conflict of the video. Do we put Arya in S tier because Arya at her best is S tier, or do we put Arya in D tier because Arya at her worst is D tier? Do we compromise and go on B? Do we set the precedent that we rate them at their best? I think so. I think we're going to do that. Controversially, I love that Arya is the one that took out the goddamn Night King. Griffith Saga's got the right idea in chat. I don't know how long ago that's went up. Fuck off, bullshit virus detector that's actually a virus. I actually like that Arya was the one who killed the Night King. I actually think that's really interesting. I like the moment. I think it's great. That's not what was wrong with that episode. Everything else literally was wrong with that episode. I think that was fine. I like how it's subversive. Arya, you don't expect it. The little knife move at the end. She stabs him. I like it all. I think it's all fine and good. I like that. I love her. I basically love her in Season 8. I think she's great in Season 8. I love the Gendry... the sex stuff. I love episode 5. I actually love episode 5 of season 8 of Game of Thrones. I think it's the only good scene in the last 4 seasons, besides maybe the finale of season 6, and maybe season 7 episode 3 and 4. Those are okay too, but the rest of them I hate. I think season 5 is overall the worst season in the show. Way worse than season 8. Season 8 is better than season 7 as well. Season 6 is really bad, but it has some great stuff. The Battle of the Bastards is the worst overall episode. So those are basically my Game of Thrones hot takes. Dislike the video, I know you're going to. But I love all the Arya stuff in Season 8. The Season 7 Arya stuff is the worst stuff in the entire show. The Season 5 and 6 Arya stuff is runner-up to the Season 7 Arya stuff of being the worst stuff in the show. The Season 4 stuff with Arya, the Season 3 stuff with her and the Hound is obviously fucking iconic and great. Everyone loves that stuff. The great, dynamic there, the fucking dialogue, the performances there, outstanding, great shit. Season 1 and 2, she's cute, and and she sort of rests on that laurel, especially in Season 1. The Syrio stuff is great. There's some internal conflict there. That's good. Her relationship with Ned, her father. God, what's her name? Maisie Williams is a really great actress as a child. She's sort of... I don't know, maybe she was better as a kid. Especially those Tywin scenes in Season 2 might be the best Arya scenes, and they were show original as well. Written by D&D, I believe. Which is funny, since the community has generally completely gone against them. Because everything is their fault, apparently. But that's a different conversation for a different day. Goddamn Minty's fucking chilling out in chat. We are currently recording this from a Twitch stream. Now, fucking Balon Greyjoy, I feel like I put him in the he's not really a character. He doesn't have any characterization. He has some towards the beginning, him sort of being pathetic and sort of a failed revolutionary who wants to give it another go and is going to take all these cheap shots to try and get there. But then they just forget about him for 3 seasons and then he dies. It's he's a victim of them wanting to speed up in season 6 and them cutting out all the interesting Ironborn stuff. So he gets in I Don't Care. Now Barristan Selmy is an S tier at his best, and I don't think he falls that far below, even at his worst. Dany is the perpetual killer of characters, though. As soon as characters go to Dany, they start to suck. This happened with Tyrion. This happened with Varys, where they go to Dany and they have nothing to do and they suck. Barristan doesn't really fall for that. He dies right at the beginning of season 5, so it's like he avoids most of the bad stuff. I like the way he goes out. It would have been more interesting to keep him alive than fucking Grey Worm. I don't really like that he died. I think he's probably going to die in the books coming up here in the, whatever the fuck's going on, Marine. It is Marine, yeah, it is. But yeah, like the season 1 scene with him, like I could cut through the 5 of you like carving a cake is fucking masterful. It's hard distinction between the. I think at the end we're going to rank the S tier people because it'll be difficult there. But he has a bunch of great scenes, like even with Ned. In season 2, I don't think he's in it because it's not till season 3 where he shows up and he's in Dany's company. And he has some great scenes opposite Jorah and Dany in the early parts there, and all of his scenes, even with Dany in like season 4 and season 5, I think are interesting. He doesn't really have like a character arc. He's not that big of a character, but the little impact he does. The little screen time he has a large impact. And obviously, like, all the stories you hear about him being really fucking cool and shit goes a long way. Benjen, I'm almost tempted to put in I Don't Care. But I think he's actually probably a B. Him returning just to die was stupid. It was just a plot thread that they had, like, left open that they thought the books were going to address for them, but they didn't. So they made him Cold Hands, and we're still unsure whether or not he is Cold Hands or not. Him in season 1 is pretty great, though. He has some great scenes with Jon Snow. They're interesting. They're cool. So I think he gets a B tier. Beric Dondarrion. I think he probably wasn't ruined by the show. I think he goes at the top of B tier, teasing on A tier. He's got some cool lines. He's got some cool characterization. I think Thoros is probably the better of the two of them. They sort of go together. Fucking Minty criticizing. You're not even watching, right? Shut the fuck up. Fuck, we should. Let's change this color. What do we make it? A boring color. Let's go grey. What else is Minty talking shit about in chat? Sub on YouTube and follow on Twitch during the stream for sexy ASMR sounds. I guess. Good advice. But I don't know. There's not much to say about Beric. He's a bloke. The Blackfish, I feel like he goes in B tier. These are all sort of like smaller roles, but like the Blackfish is probably better than these two when he's on screen, and he has some great scenes, especially in like season 3 where he's fucking with Edmure or whatever. And at the Red Wedding where he goes to take a piss and he sort of avoids getting executed. Well, I guess murdered, not executed. It's just an interesting way it plays out. His ending, I think, is sort of fine. His scenes with Jaime in season 7? Season 6 are pretty good. They're fine. They're not that ruined by the show. This is the fucking Bloodraven, right? Jesus Christ. I haven't seen this bloke in a while. He's a good performance, I guess, but like he's not really a character. He sort of does some wisdom. There's no interesting twist with Bloodraven like there's going to be in the books. Obviously, if you've seen any Preston Jacobs video, this dude is like the fucking most important character of all time. I'd say he gets a C. Like, it's an inoffensive. Like, he's fine, but he's not really a character. But neither are these guys, so I'll put him in C. Neither is Balon, though. Let's move on to Robert Baratheon. He's better than both of these two. Robert Baratheon is one of the best characters in this show. He's so great. Such a great performance. I fucking love it. Fuck Minty Funk off. You're right, though. That's how it goes around here. Don't act like you don't think or know that that's how this happens. Someone said Daenerys looks like Griffith, the girl version. Sort of makes sense by the end, but I guess because they both have white hair. I guess they both sell their bodies. I was going to say they both get raped, but Griffith doesn't really. I guess it sort of is technically rape. And Dany does get raped in the show, even though she doesn't in the books. God, they fucked up that Dany stuff right from the start, didn't they? God damn it, it just fucking sucks. Who are we on? Fucking Mark Addy is goddamn Robert Baratheon. Incredible scenes with Cersei that are show original. That's one of the best scenes in the entire show. They start the damn joust before I piss myself. Go get the breastplate stretcher. The funniest bloke you ever saw. Get serious, and when he gets sad, it's so good. just like this fucking war hero who's fucking depressed because the one girl he liked died, so he's just gonna fuck goddamn strippers and, well, not strippers, I guess they're just whores. I guess they strip, right? They're technically strippers. Until he fucking dies, and then he does die by the boar. He's good. He's like has a great relationship with fucking Ned. His story is sort of like the fallen hero, and he wasn't cut out for bureaucracy and all that bullshit. Isn't Griffith the girl version by the dragons? I guess. But yeah, just his performance more than anything, and the great dialogue with the show highlight him. He is an interesting character as well as sort of like the fallen hero who doesn't like bureaucracy. Now, Bran. Does he go in D tier? Bran was sort of interesting. Bran is like the prototypical hero archetype until he breaks his legs in the first episode. And then it's like, oh, I see where this is going. And then he gets his bullshit magical powers that are never that interesting. But at least Bran was likable up until the end of Season 4. And then for some reason, they decide to have him become a fucking robot. For no reason. They take any possible interest you could have in this character and just destroy it. I have no idea. If he had just still been like the nice, humble, like boy who was actually all-powerful even up to the end, like it could have been interesting. I think we all would have been happier for him for becoming king and like living up to his ambitions that he wanted as a kid. But instead they just like made him a non-character. I don't understand. Like, Bran might be the worst done by out of anyone. And him ending up becoming king is interesting in concept, but it's completely fucking, like, terrible in execution. And, like, an overwhelming sense of underwhelmed. I don't know where I'm going with that sentence. How's that supposed to be structured? It's, like, overwhelming with disappointment. Brienne sucks, and I don't like her. I think she's boring. I don't think she's interesting. I don't think she's likable. I don't like anything about Brienne at all. I don't like that she's a good fighter. I don't know. But you can't say sexist, because Arya is all the way up here. And there will be a lot more girls up there. But I just don't like her at all. I don't know why they decidedly made her ugly. I guess that's sort of the point. Like, Gwyneth Christie, right, is not as ugly as Brienne is. I don't know, they just, like, downplayed her a lot, and it's just, like, every time I saw her, I was like, why is her hair like that? Why is there, like, the front part that looks like dye, but it also looks like she's got a receding hairline? That's every time I saw Brienne. And the stupid scene with Jaime knighting her that everyone's like, oh, I felt the emotion. Like, I felt nothing. I thought that scene was shitty and cringy, and I hated it. I don't know, I just don't like Brienne at all. Seth is here. Holy shit. Seth, are you a Game of Thrones boy? I don't know. Maybe you can actually interact here. Because Griffith Saga and Minty are trying to entertain themselves in chat. Because this is going up on YouTube, so say hello to the YouTube audience. Braun is another, like, Arya example of, like, they totally ruined him, but he was, like, an absolute S-tier character. I'd say, like, this far up. Like, Braun has, like, the most entertaining scenes in, like, Season 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then 5, what is he even doing in 5? The Sand Snake stuff. Yikes. Season 6... does he go with Jaime to confront the Blackfish? I think he does, which maybe is interesting, but I don't really remember. Him shooting the dragon is unquestionably a great moment in the show. I wish he had killed Drogon. It would have been so fucking awesome. I like that he gets a happy ending at the end, but yeah, it sort of comes out of nowhere and is completely unrewarded. He just gets Highgarden because he threatens Tyrion and Jaime. That final scene we ever see him... well, I guess that's not the final scene because he is there in the final scene, I think. He's in the final episode. It's not the final scene. But that scene where he breaks into Winterfell is so weirdly, oddly rushed and awful, and the tone is completely off, and, like, I don't know. It's fucking stupid, and I hate that scene. But overall, he has some of the best ones. Like, him and the Hound having, like, a dick measuring contest right before the Blackwater. Like, him just being Tyrion's, like, backup. Him being cute all the time is all great. He has some great fucking lines. He's all good. I watched Season 1, then never caught up, just like everyone in chat said. I'm just arguing on Reddit in the meantime. I'm on Twitter having an argument about why Berserk is better than Vinland Saga. Well, that's something that's undeniably true. But we're not here to talk about that. Catelyn. Catelyn is like the Carmella. She's like the Betty Draper. You like her, Betty Draper is not a good example. More like the Carmela. Like, you like her and she's very motherly, but you almost hate her for that same reason. In the books, Catelyn is far more manipulative and evil. In the show, she's very much like, she's A tier and above. I'm just trying to figure out if I like her or not. She is a great written character, a well written character. Like the scene, even the show original scene with where she talks about Jon Snow with Rob's wife Talisa, right? That's a fucking great scene. Everything she does with Jaime is fantastic. They should have fucked. Her scenes with Littlefinger are like very like interesting and like, this is a weird fucking situation for both of them. Her Ned scenes aren't that interesting. The scenes with her children aren't that interesting, but everything else is. I'll put her at the top of A tier, I think. Cersei's almost exactly... I don't think I like Cersei as much as most people like Cersei. I think she's a great comparer for Catelyn Stark in terms of quality. Again, like, the stuff with Tyrion, like, she's great in, like, that villainous role, but then the sympathetic role she's also good in. I love how her character ends with Jaime and them getting crushed. I talked about this on the old channel. I love that episode. I love season 8, episode 5. I like that, again, they cuck you out of having, like, this cathartic moment by making her so sympathetic before she dies, so you can't cheer and you can't boo. It's just sort of like, well, there goes Cersei. How do I feel about this? It's very... the more I think about it, I think she's S tier. I think she is better than Catelyn. The religious stuff is weird. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about Cersei, but she's definitely quality. We'll leave it at that. This is Craster, right? Not really characterized at all. If it's not Craster, then I don't remember, and I put him in the eye. Daario has some cool lines. This Daario is definitely better than the Deadpool Daario. I think he goes in A tier. He has some cool moments. He has some cool action moments. He's very, like, is suave the right word? Like, smooth. I don't know. I like him. He's a pretty boy, and he's pretty enough for me, so he goes in A tier. Has some great scenes overall, but so does everybody. Dany gets the old D tier. I feel like she goes here. Dany has potential in certain aspects, but most of the time she's just whiny and annoying and entitled and just... It's a big fucking yikes from me. Dany is the perpetual character killer. Anyone that goes to Dany's side of the story ends up becoming incredibly boring and terrible. Someone just said Thorfinn's relationship is better than Guts and Casca. They are idiot. I refuse to believe someone said that. Dany. Like, what is the best Dany scene? When she gets the Unsullied, I guess that's sort of cool. It's just not convincing, I don't think. I don't know if Emilia Clarke was ever that good of an actress. It always felt like she put on an acting voice. Just everything is off with Dany. Now when I'm trying to, like, encapsulate it, the only interesting thing I think they ever did with Dany was having her become evil in Season 8, Episode 5. Also known as the best episode of Game of Thrones. Fuck me. I'm just kidding about that. I don't know. I just really like that episode. No one else does. Like, I just think back to, like, that Season 7, Episode 3 scene, I think, where she meets Jon Snow for the first time. That's, like, the worst acted scene I've ever seen in my fucking life. Tyrion is absolutely awful in that scene. And I just think of, like, her putting on her dumb fake voice. And, like, ugh. Just no. Just bad. Davos, I think, is A tier as well. He remains sympathetic and interesting even up until the end. I'm glad he got a happy ending. They do take some liberties with this character. The fact that he never brings up that Tyrion totally murdered his son is, like, fucking hilarious. And that they just completely walk past that. But yeah, I think everyone understands Davos. He's just sort of like the good bloke. I do like his scenes with, like, all the, like, little girls in the series, like Shireen. All of his scenes there are great. And then with Lady Mormont as well. I really need to start speeding the fuck up here. Dick Tarly, right? Because Bronn Last is his name. A great little inclusion in the middle of Season 7. Him as, like, a sympathetic thing. He dies alongside his father. What a great little fucking thing. And just fuck Dany again. Jesus Christ. Why? It was totally set up from the start. Fuck that. But yeah, I like him as a little addition there. He's at the end of fucking B tier, but he deserves it. He has like a weird scene where he saves Jamie, right? And there's sort of a look between them. I think he's just pretty cool. Doran Martell, absolutely awful in the show. Moron. He just totally died, and what a dumb fuck. Drogon is not a character. I don't care. Khal Drogo is like... I think he's A tier. He's not interesting at all. But he is super cool. He has a great fight scene. He has some great speech scenes. No, he's not better than the Blackfish. We'll put him here. I don't know. I feel like people like Drogo because he was cool, which is dumb. So Ed, I think, gets a B tier as well. He can go. He's above Benjen and Beric, definitely. He's a cool bloke. He is like a necessary death in that battle. They definitely needed more necessary deaths. But yeah, whatever. Edmure Tully gets like a B tier too. He's funny as like a comedic duo partner with his fucking, I guess, uncle or no, older brother, right? Because he's Catelyn's brother as well. There's just a big age difference. Like, they play off each other well and it's fun. Ellaria was never good. Fuck off. Euron is the worst character in this show. Absolutely fucking abysmal. Some dumb, goofy pirate comes out of nowhere and starts becoming a real character. Fuck me. What an awful thing for a character that was so hyped and interesting and just like, ugh. What a fucking disgrace. I don't know the direwolves from shit, so they're all going in I don't give a fuck tier. Same with the children, not characterized at all. So Gren gets like a B tier too, he's fine. Is this Gilly or is this his mother? The Mountain, disgustingly fucking awful. I hope they have the Mountain separately. The Mountain is fine. But the fucking dumb zombie version that goes nowhere, the final battle with the Hound is fucking awful. Just terrible dog shit garbage. That happens in episode 5, right? I do still like that episode. That episode also has the terrible Euron bullshit as well. This is Gendry, right? Gendry gets like a B tier. He's fine. Not very interesting at all. Him and Arya, whatever, that's cool. That's probably the best stuff he ever does. Now, the High Sparrow is an A tier character. No, yes. Very interesting. Great acting. Great voice. Like the we can come together and overthrow an empire or whatever that line is great. How he goes out is great. Just a detestable, morally virtuous prick. You just gotta hate him. We're up to 7 viewers live now. I guess people like the Game of Thrones bullshit. Even though chat is completely dead. Grey Worm gets a C. He's not going in D, but he's not interesting at all, and I don't care, and he's annoying, and especially towards the end when he, like, kidnaps Jon Snow and gets emotional, it's like, what the fuck? I do like, the acting when Missandei gets executed is great from Grey Worm, though. I'm trying to figure out if this is Gilly or his sister. Either way, they probably go, and I don't care. I don't think Gilly is anyone's favourite character. Hodor gets a B tier. The Hold the Door twist is fucking outstanding. That episode is great. The twist there is awesome. The time travel bullshit, fuckery time loop, Hold the Door, Hodor. Fucking great stuff. Hodor as a character, likable, lovable. He dies and we're all sad about it. Gets the job done. I like him a lot. Jaime obviously is S tier. Man, early Jaime is so fucking good. Like, here good. Maybe here good. Maybe Arya too. I don't know, we'll rank S tier at the end, but god, Jaime's fucking great. Especially when he's being a prick early on. What a fucking character. And his slow thing, and the scene in the bath is spec-fucking-tacular. The fucking... it's so good, and then he's just like, Jaime was right the whole time. Fuck this Ned Stark prick for judging him on the throne. Fuck you. How about that? God, he's so good. And he comes out with his fucking one hand, and he's like limping, and he's all dirty, and then Brienne grabs him and calls for the guards. What a fucking absolute monstrous scene of epic proportions, of absolute motivation. The fact that he throws Bran out the window in the first episode, and we love him by like season 3, is fucking, what a fucking... great stuff, just great stuff. I love that he goes back to Cersei at the end. Fuck you. Janos Slynt, I guess, is like a C tier. He's entirely detestable, but which is sort of what we want, but he's not really interesting. Jaqen H'ghar really isn't a character. He gets in the I don't care. He just says, like, okay to Arya at the end. Like, what the fuck was that? The bear gets a B. He was fine. He was a good, like, leader role model bloke. He was cool. Joffrey gets an A. He doesn't make it to S tier because Joffrey himself isn't really that interesting. It's more Joffrey playing off of other people, and as he's evil is really good. He's definitely better than Daario. Daario, you're going back down to fucking... You're not as good as the Blackfish, I've decided. You should move the Blackfish up, we'll think. But Joffrey, everyone understands what's great about Joffrey. He's just a detestable little prick. He's like... insane sociopath. I love the scenes about Joffrey more than Joffrey. I love the scenes analysing Joffrey as a character. Like when Cersei and Tyrion talk about him and how he's like a complete fuck up. In that weird scene where they almost bond. Fucking great stuff. Griffith Saga's leaving, I think. Catching up on Madman Seeker. He always uses that excuse to get out of here. He's got to be lying. I guess I forgot to time travel in Game of Thrones was a thing. It is. It goes nowhere. It's only used for that one Hodor thing, and then it's never referenced again because they didn't think shit out because they didn't have George to fucking hold their hand. Jojen Reed, I just remember this prick's name. He was fine. This is the dude from Maze Runner or whatever. He gets a C tier. He was fine. Jon Snow, now if we're ranking him on his best stuff, he's S tier. But if we're ranking him on anything past him dying, he's absolutely the detestable worst D tier imaginable. He's completely boring after he gets revived, when that could have been the opportunity to do the most interesting thing. But really, Jon Snow was at his best when he's with Ygritte, alright? That's great stuff. Ygritte is definitely a better character than Jon Snow, but that stuff's good. And that early stuff is so well acted. Some of the latest stuff is well acted as well, but it's not... Jon just becomes such a boring prick later on. At least at the beginning he was like pissed off and he had something to prove. Later on it's just like, oh, I died, I'm perpetually depressed. I remember him having good scenes, like Reunited with Sansa is a good scene. Sansa. And him and Theon's stuff is pretty good too. Later on. Jorah can hang out at the bottom of S tier. We all love Jorah, perpetually also cucked. We rooted for him the whole time. We understood him. He was sympathetic. We like him. He was very well acted. Greatest voice you've ever heard. He's fine. Now this is, I forget his name, but he's like the one guard. He gets a B tier. The one guard that he has some great scenes with Jaime particularly, because then Jaime ends up killing him. What's his name? Fuck, he's like the house guard or whatever. He's not a knight, and that's like something they bring up in that Jaime scene. This girl I don't recognize, I think it's one of the actresses. She goes in there, unless it's maybe Sam's sister or brother. Lancel. Lancel is an interesting one. He gets a B too. So Lancel fucks Cersei at the beginning, and then he becomes like a religious zealot, and then he really fucks Cersei by making her get arrested and shit. And his death is great, man. That opening scene of the of season 6, episode 10 is so fucking spectacular. The way they incorporate the music and everything, it's so fucking good. And Lancel is sort of the driving force, like behind that. We sort of follow him as he follows his way down the trail down to the wildfire, and then it ignites. And he tries to stop it, and he's the first one blown up. What a great fucking... Just everything about that is great. And him sort of like becoming pathetic as he always was, and then joining a cult was like interesting. The baby, I guess Baby Sam, who gives a fuck. Littlefinger's another one where his best stuff is in S tier, but his worst stuff is in absolute D tier. Terrible ending. Everything past season 5 with Littlefinger is a fucking hassle. Everything almost in season 4 with Littlefinger is a fucking hassle. All the Lysa stuff sucks. Everything outside of that is great. The first 3 seasons, Littlefinger scenes were some of your favourites. I'd put him up here somewhere. Great, I don't think I need to explain that. Loras was cool. Loras gets a B, I don't know. I don't really know. Lady Mormont, some of it is overindulgent. I think she belongs in C tier. Her killing the giant in like season 8, episode 3 was like, ugh. Like, her first scene was great, and she deserved all the praise she got as that, especially as an actress. But then they decided to bring her back for the meme for the entire season, and it was like, not for the entire season, for the entire series, and it was like, you're a little overindulgent. Like, this was good, because it was cute, because it was a little scene here. I don't know who that is. Probably Jane Poole, maybe? Lysa, I don't really care about. I guess she's interesting as a concept, so we'll give her a B. The Tyrell one, I guess, gets a C. He's sort of jovial and interesting. Though in the books, it's like he's jovial and interesting and like flamboyant and shit because it's a meme, right? He's like deceiving people, and that's interesting. Eamon gets like an A tier. He has some great fucking scenes, some great speeches, him dying. Sad. I keep thinking in my head that there's a scene with him dying on a boat in the show, but that just doesn't exist. That's just something I've thought about a lot. Because that's how it happens in the books, but that's not how it happens in the show. He does call out for Egg, though, I think, which is interesting. He gets A tier as well. Mance Rayder gets A tier. He's interesting as a concept. He's interesting in the way that he like refuses to bend the knee and how he stands by his principles. But I don't think it was ever that good of a performance or he was that interesting of a character. More of a concept. But I do like it enough to be A tier. Marjorie, I think, is S tier. I think she's great as like a sponge and sort of not in the sex way, but as sort of she absorbs stuff from Elena. She's great as a offshoot of Elena. She's fucking probably the prettiest girl in the show besides late term Sansa. Marjorie is fucking great. Just her overall like fake confidence thing and her interactions with Cersei are all good. Meera is interesting. They never gave her closure. Bran just tells her to fuck off and she does. Meera was always the most likable out of their group. So I give her a B. I like her. Melisandre, I think she's an A. I don't think she ever got that bad through the show. She always had some interesting scenes towards the beginning. Fuck, it's nearly 10:20. We need to speed through this shit. Missandei, I guess, is B tier. She's more interesting than Grey Worm. She's fine. Myrcella is pretty great. I like what she does in the narrative, but she doesn't do much. Her accepting fucking Jaime before dying is like heartbreaking. I know you're my real father, dead. The Night King is not a character. He goes in, I don't care. This wolf, I don't care. But these next three, we got some fucking heavy hitters coming in here. They're all going in S tier. Eddard Stark, Ned Stark, fucking spectacular performance all around. The lovable idiot, we all love him. Oberyn is all the way up here. Some of the best scenes in the show, not just his death scene, but the I will be your champion scene. Him just fucking with Tywin, him fucking with Cersei. Though him and Cersei do sort of have a heart-to-heart moment. His introduction with Tyrion and stabbing Olenna, just great stuff. Every scene he's in is one of the best scenes in the show. Olenna goes to the front of the pack here and will only be surpassed by one other character. I think we all know who it is, but fuck me. I don't want to spoil it, so we're not going to talk about Olenna. Where is he? Where is he? I'm not seeing him. Show me. Why wasn't he at the beginning of the fucking list? There's no way. There he is. Put him at the top. The best character in Game of Thrones by far. Tywin fucking Lannister. Him and Olenna are like two peas in a pod. They're the same fucking thing. They're just old people who are very smart, fucking with young people and fucking with each other. And just, oh, it's so good. They're just, every scene they're in together is fucking spectacular. Every Tywin Jaime scene, every Tywin Cersei scene, every Tywin fucking Arya scene, every Tywin Tyrion scene. Every Tywin scene is fucking spectacular. There's supercuts on YouTube of all the scenes. Just fucking go. Miller is here. I don't know if he's a Game of Thrones boy, but no one else is in chat. So if Miller's got anything to say, yeah, we can interact, but I don't think he does. Tywin is just outstanding. Olenna's great as well. All her Cersei scenes are good as well. The Marjorie scenes again are great. The manipulating of Sansa is pretty good too. Even her death scene is great. Even into season 7, she was still having great scenes. Tywin thankfully died at the end of season 4, before they could completely ruin his character. Him like taking Tommen under his wing like immediately is fucking great. Him and Joffrey scenes are fucking great, where he tells him to sit the fuck down. Oh, spectacular stuff. This is Rickon, or is this the little prick that John? This is Ollie, right? And I don't care either way. Osha gets a. Is this Asha or Osha? I forget which one's Tyrion's, not Tyrion's, Theon's sister in the book. She gets a B tier, she's fine. She's Nymphadora from Harry Potter. Podrick gets a B2, he's interesting, he's lovable, he's fine. The cool sex gimmick with him and being really good with the prostitutes is funny. Him singing, I love that scene, that's fun. Pycelle is a fake, and that's such a great twist. He's an A tier just for that conceit. And him being just like the biggest piece of shit is fucking great. This is another, I forget this one's name, Pip, right? He gets a B2. All of John's like wall friends are pretty good. I recognize him, but I don't know where to place him, so he's going in I don't care. Fuck, I do recognize him though. Qyburn, that's his name, right? It's a B tier, I guess. He's sort of interesting. He's a well performance. Ramsay. I don't like at all. I'm always tempted to put him next to Janice Slitten's, just he's supposed to be detestable. He got so ridiculously evil at the end. He was so obviously going to lose. Him firing on his own men and shit like that. Awful, terrible stuff. The stuff with him and Theon is like pretty fucking brutal and pretty cool at the beginning. The torture stuff. But him just killing Roose and totally getting away with it makes no sense. It's just terrible writing in season 6. Everything to do with Ramsay is particularly terrible in that season. I just don't like him at all. I don't think he's interesting in the slightest. I think he's just a villain to overcome to make Jon Snow look heroic. I don't give a fuck at all. This is another dragon. We're going to put him in fucking I don't care. Is this Viserys or is this supposed to be Rhaegar? Because Rhaegar's going in I don't care. I don't know. Randall Tarley, great performance. Stern bloke, lives up to his name. He goes here with his son. Great little inclusion. Not evil, but there. Snan Stakes get a C. It's not their fault. They weren't particularly bad. Just some of the shit around Dawn was bad. And they're not as bad as any of these people down here, so fuck off. This dude gets a B. One scene. This is the dude from Deadwood. He's like a big actor or whatever. Does a great job. Renly also gets a B. He's actually pretty fucking interesting for the relative amount of time he's in there. Obviously, him being gay is very fucking, like, it's interesting to see that perspective from there. He's Rickon. He goes and I don't care. But yeah, Shaggy Dog, I think. Just like, I did like him, and it's interesting how he goes out, how he like juxtaposes Stannis. He's very interesting in the narrative. I feel like definitely agree with the top 2 phenomena. So Miller actually is a Game of Thrones boy, and Minty's saying he'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't worry about me seeing Mad Men spoilers. When I come back, I'll just cover the screen. And yes, we are doing a Mad Men one after this. But Jesus Christ, this one's fucking dragging. Alright, Sansa goes in S tier. This is Sansa, right? It's a weird thing of Sansa. Sansa's fucking great the whole series through. She's like the one character that doesn't get substantially worse. Though the season 7 stuff with her is awful, but it doesn't really ruin her character. It just ruins Arya's character. Robb gets an S tier. I think Robb's pretty great. I think he's very likable, especially his romance with his wife, and the twist with him obviously is great. Theon goes up in S tier as well. Look at the young Theon here. Obviously, self-evident great arc. Viserys is like a B tier. If it's Rhaegar, I put him in the I don't care. That is Rhaegar. Fuck off. No one cares. Your stupid prophecy was fucking stupid and everyone fell for it. Meant nothing because it was supposed to mean nothing. The Waif, D tier. Fuck it. I was going to put in I don't care, but I do care and it fucking sucked. Viserys gets B. The littlest of little shits, just like this prick, but very good at their jobs. Roderick, that's his name, right? Yeah, gets a B tier. Roose also gets a B tier. Roose has some great scenes, same with Roderick. Sam, I think, goes in the A tier. I don't think he does enough to be S tier, but I did like Sam. I think he's cool. Probably underneath Davos and Catelyn and Alistair Thorne. But yeah, probably above thingy. The Hound is an S tier character. Let's put him up here. We'll decide that at the end. Everyone knows why. Shae is an S tier character. Absolutely great twist that she was fucking Tywin the entire time. Oh, what a great twist. Didn't just start happening. I guarantee it. Tyrion gets S tier because we're judging them on when they're at the best, though Tyrion gets to maybe the lowest lows with that fucking terrible Dany plot. Yara gets like a B, whatever. This fucking bloke gets a nothing. This dude was great, but he's a B tier more. He's not in very much at all. I don't care about her at all. Shireen, I honestly... yeah, I do. I'll put her in B. Stannis gets S tier just for some of the great scenes he's in, even if he's the petrol cock of the series. Another dog, get the fuck out of here. Talisa, I feel like she's what makes Robb good, so she has to be S tier. She's definitely at the bottom there. Thoros gets, I put Beric in A tier. I'm going to put Thoros in A tier, just above Beric. I think he's better, but I think they two things. Tommen also gets B tier. I guess, how am I forgetting this name out of all of them? I think I've gotten all of them so far. What is his name? Thorum? No. I keep thinking Thorgil, but that's the bloke from Vinland Saga. Why? Oh, Thorin. No, not Thorin, that's the Game of Thrones. I had it for a second. Does it start with G? How did I fucking forget? I know he's like the Giant's Bane or whatever. Thorum, Giant's Bane. How am I forgetting this fucking prick's name? I don't know. He's great at the beginning, becomes awful by the end. Has some funny lines towards the beginning. Who cares about this kid? Varys is obviously S tier. Tormund, that's right. Truth is here. Miller's giving us another one and thing. I'm not paying much attention to chat, which is bad. Why would you like Sam if you hate Armin? Thought you hate that type of character. Sam's cool, alright? He fucks up that White Walker. He's gonna be fucking Gilly's the husband. He's doing good, alright? Don't compare him to fucking Armin. Armin's such a whingy little bitch. Fucking Sam stands the fuck up and he killed that White Walker, because fuck him. And he didn't have some fucking wanna die complex afterwards because he's a bitch. Fuck Armin. Who cares about the fat wife? Hot Pie gets a fucking B. Roz gets a B. Walder Frey gets a B. Pretty great performance, and Ygritte gets an S. So let's rank the S tier boys and girls. What's the ratio of boys to girls? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, I already count that one. 8 to probably a lot more. So there is a lot more men. So these are obviously the top two. Who is the worst one here is Talisa, right? She's only here because her and Rob are good together, and that's why he will probably be at the bottom here too. Shay is bottom tier, S tier. So is Stannis. I'd say Littlefinger is as well, and so is Cersei, and so is Jon, and so is Barristan, and so is Marjorie. So who would be the three? I think these 5 here again. I think I really do like a Grit though. I don't know. I'd say this is probably a good top 5 here. Jaime, Oberyn, Robert Baratheon, Olenna, and Tywin. I think that's pretty good. Armin nukes a port, but he's such a bitch about it. Man the fuck up and nuke a goddamn port. Armin takes down the Colossal Titan. Your same thing is taking down a White Walker, except he's a total bitch about it, alright? So here we go. I think that's it. Armin hate excluded. Can we zoom out here? It sort of encompasses everything. A lot of S tier characters, far more than any of the other ones I did, because Game of Thrones has a much larger cast and much better character writing than anything else. I don't know, does it have better character writing than Berserk? Well, we can't say that because it completely falls off at the end. Not Berserk. Berserk gets better as it goes. This fucking shit. So no, I wouldn't say that in any confidence, but it definitely has better character the dialogue is really the better thing. But that about has it. So if you're still in the YouTube audience, get over to Twitch. Stop fucking around. And I guess check out all my other tier list videos. There's a Mad Men one coming up. I did an Attack on Titan one. I did a Berserk one. I did, what's the other one? Vinland Saga one. Check all those out. All manga spoilers for all of those. Entire spoilers here. I don't know why you'd click on it otherwise. Game of Thrones has been over for a year, as we talked about at the beginning. That's all I got to say about this. Support links in the description below. Thanks.